Welcome back to my channel. As you all know, I had put a video on the recent Saturn transit, which is going to happen on 17th of January this month, wherein we had discussed the intricate details of the results for various zodiacal signs as per the moon sign. As you all know, normally this transit predictions for all the planets, as per the Indian Vedic astrology, is normally being considered from the moon rasi, that is from the sign in which the moon is placed, and not from the Lagna. So one somebody can argue that why can't we take into consideration the Lagna also while predicting the Gojara transit of planets? I have no difference of opinion with that. Even you can consider from Lagna also. But conventionally, as well as per the classic text, even as per our experience also, we have observed that the transit results are more pronounced from the zodiacal sign of moon and not from the ascendant. Maybe it is with respect to the planet we are considering, because from each planet we can consider the movement of Saturn. That is yet another intricate analysis of the Vedic astrology. For example, why can't we take into consideration only from the moon? We can take into consideration the transit of moon from the Jupiter. We can take into consideration the transit of Jupiter from various other planets, say from Venus, from Mercury. All those things we can do. And depending upon the Karaga or the quality of those particular planets, we can derive prediction, because astrology is such a wonderful science that we are predicting the happenings only on the basis of sound principles and moments. So here, maybe the seers have made this transit prediction from the moon. To my knowledge and to my understanding, what it goes, moon is the Karaga of mind, or moon represents the mind of a person. And the transit Saturn, if it is considered from the moon, I think it affects every activity of a person is closely related to his mind. Our work, our efforts, our results, everything is closely related to the mind. So that is also one of the reasons why we are predicting the transit predictions from moon. So coming back to our present topic, so in that video I had indicated what are the various zodiacal signs for which the Saturn would be acting as malefic, and for the zodiac scale signs for which it will be acting as benefics. So this was done in detail, and we were not able to suggest remedies for the transit Saturn because of the time factor. So in that video itself, I had indicated that we will be doing another video exclusively for the remedies for the Saturn. So which is why the present video. So what is the relevance of the remedy for Saturn? That is the first question any rational mind can ask. What is the relevance for the remedies, and how can the remedies offset the evil effects of the moment of Saturn? It's a very pertinent question, and what it comes to my mind is that, see, it's very simple. The results, what we now see in our life, based on the position of the planets as per the time of birth, or in our Janma Patrika, or in our Kundali, or in our chart, whatever it is called, is based only on our karma. As you all know, our body is made of Panchabhuta, and soul and mind are completely detached from this. So whatever results and effects which we say by means of transit of any planet, or by means of desabukti of any planet, which does not affect the soul. The soul is actually, it is nirguna. It is equivalent to God. It does not have any quality. It does not get affected by either good or bad. So from that perspective, only the body gets affected by the movement of the planets. So from that angle, how does we take birth? It is only based on our past karma. We have to work out certain karmas, and depending upon the karmas which we have to work out, we select the place, the parents, and also the circumstances in which we should be placed in our life, in our next life. That is how a soul chooses its birth. So based upon that, the planetary position at the time of birth is also a choice. It is not by accident. What we call it is not by accident. It is a purely choice by the soul concerned. So if these planets or if these happenings is based on, if the placement of these planets or the happenings is based on the past karma, naturally only another karma can offset the past karmas. This is the very scientific basis and principle behind the pariharas. So now let us see very quickly what are the normal remedies which are suggested for the evil effects of Saturn. While we talk about the remedies for Saturn, we have to divide this into two. One is the pariharas or the remedies for the Saturn, for transit Saturn, and the another is for the Saturn, which is in your Janma Kundali, or which is in your chart, which we call our our horoscope. So the Nanak Saturn and the Saturn, which is placed in the your chart, which is both are different, as you know. So the pariharas for these two should be also considered very differently. Now today we are going to discuss, though generally about the remedies for Saturn, we are more concentrating on the remedies for the transit Saturn, because this is a continuation of my earlier video of the transit results of the Saturn's movement into Aquarius. So now we will see what are the pariharas normally being done for the evil effects of Saturn. Even I have different opinion in telling that evil effects. No effect is evil effect. It's only paying of karma. So in that perspective, no effect is evil effect. It is only working out our karma. So if somebody is struggling more, don't think that he has done more sins. In fact, he has taken more responsibility on his shoulders during this particular incarnation. So in fact, he should be respected rather than not to be despised. So from that perspective, we say there are no evil effects, and you all know why specifically for Saturn we say we give more importance also. See, we call all other planets by the planet's name, but there is an exception for only Saturn in astrological parlance. The Vedic astrology always called Saturn as Shanishwara. Ishwara means, the Almighty. So we have given the status of a god to this, Saturn. That is because of its Dharma Bodha. Dharma Bodha means it is always, the Saturn always go by the justice. Saturn is a judge. It does not discriminate. So whatever happenings comes into one's life, it's all based on the past karma only. And which is why we say the effects of Saturn are very pronounced. They are very intense. Why? Because whether it is reward or whether it is a punishment. The punishment in the so-called, I would put in with an inverted comma, there is no punishment as such, it's only the working out of karma. So in this background, I would suggest you what are the basic remedies which has to be done for the Saturn's transit moments. One is propitiation of the particular planet. We, every time we say, when there is an evil effect from or a effect which is not very favorable for a particular native by the transit of a particular planet, we have to propitiate that planet. Here, Saturn's propitiation is to be done whenever Saturn is not in favorable position. Whether you are running in Sadesadi, or whether the Saturn is in angle from the moon, or whether it is in 8th house from the moon. So what has to be done? We can do by various ways. One is doing puja for Saturn. You can go to any Navagraha temple, or where the Shani is the main deity, like in Tirundalar in Tamil Nadu, or Shani Singapore in Maharashtra. There are so many Shani temples. So you can go to such temples, or you can go to even Navagraha temples, where you can do the puja for Saturn. And that too, basically it is preferable on Saturdays. Saturdays evening is the best time to propitiate Saturn. That is the first thing. You can also do the Havanas or Homa, what we say, for Shani. That also can be done. That is also more effective than even puja. Apart from these two, you can also light lamp for Shanishwara, wherever there is Navagraha or Shanishwara temple. While lighting the lamp, we used to say that we used to put the gingerly oil while lighting the lamp, or sesame seed we will wrap in a cloth and then we will light the lamp, because these are all the grains or the oil representing the Saturn planet. So that is also very effective. There are very effective, further intricate effective remedies which has been talked in Lal Kitab and other various books, which of course is not out of our subject here because the video will become too large. So I don't want to enter into all those very intricate remedies which you need to discuss with an astrologer and do that. So the first one is propitiation of planets. Then this puja, homa, or lighting of lamp can be done at whatever intervals you feel. I mean, convenient for you. For example, if you want to do every week, you can do. If you want to do every month, you can do. If somebody is able to do every day, that also can be done. It all depends upon your time, your resource. So we don't. I mean, nobody can suggest what is exact suggestion. The suggestion is that we used to say that as per your resource and as per your convenience, you can do that. The second type of propitiation or remedies which we do for Saturn is actually wearing of gemstones and wearing of yantras. While talking about wearing of gemstones, I would take an exception that for transit Saturn, nobody suggests any wearing of gemstones. That is not my school of thought. Maybe perhaps some other, school of thought may be suggesting for wearing of blue sapphire or neelam for the evil effects of Shani or Saturn. But I am not for that. I don't suggest the wearing of blue sapphire whenever there is an evil effect from the Saturn, which because it will become counter productive only. The school of thought which I propose is that you can only strengthen the planets which are favorable for you. So in transit Saturn, there is no question of favorability because we only discuss about the evil effects of the transit Saturn. So in that perspective, we may not suggest any wearing of gemstones, but the wearing of yantras is very, very pertinent, which would definitely reduce the evil effects. There are various types of yantras. We normally suggest numeric yantras or tantric yantras. Both are very powerful. Numeric yantras are also powerful. Tantric yantras are more powerful. It has to be done as per the rituals, and it has to be worn by the person concerned. This can also be done by whatever japa, is possible. If you are getting it done by tantric, then they have to do, or if you yourself is doing, you can also do the japa. It can vary according to the time and resource with you. Then apart from these gemstones and yantras, there is yet another way of propitiating the planet is actually japa. Japa means chanting of mantras. So chanting of mantras means what mantras we can chant for the evil effects of Saturn. There are various mantras. To start with Shani Gayatri or Ashtotra Nama, Ashtotra Sadanama, that means 108 names of Saturn. Tantric mantra of Shanishwara, the very popular mantra of Shanishwara, which is starting from Nilanchana Samabhasam, which is all these things are available on net. So nowadays it's not difficult to get you all these mantras. You can also, have Shani Stuti. So by whatever means which is convenient for you, in whatever language which is, very comfortable for you, you can recite this slokas or mantras, which will also definitely reduce the evil effects of Saturn. Then, apart from this, there is also another kind of type of remedies which we used to suggest is deity. That is actually worship of deities. Yeah, as per the Vedic astrology, for each planet, each planet has been assigned for a particular deity. So the deity for Saturn is, normally we say Shasta, then Hanuman. So these two murtis can be propitiated, or we can go to their temples. You can light lamp in Hanuman temples. You can recite Hanuman Chalisa. You can also recite the mantras of Shasta. You can also light the lamp in south, which is very popular, which is called Niranjana. Whatever way you can propitiate these murtis, that also you can do. Then the next type of pariharas which I am going to suggest is purely scientific, as per the scientific parlance. Now people believe only what they see. So from that perspective, I have already indicated that the placement of the planets, the effects of the planets, the karma which we undergo, everything is based on our karmas only. So the only way to offset these karmas is doing the antidote, the opposite of this karma. See, now we used to say that when you will have the evil effects of Saturn, when somebody has not taken care of the elders, when somebody has intimidated old people, people who are in hapless position, people who are in very lower levels, people who do not have any resource, whether which is by health or which is by money or which is by society status or even official status, all these will come. Whoever is powerless, if we eliminate them, definitely in your future journey, Saturn will definitely marking you and will definitely will be giving, asking you to do the antidote, which is what is happening for evil effects of the Saturn, what we call now. So this is another way of doing the parihara by say by looking after the elders, by giving charity and donations for the old age homes. The Vedic astrology and Sanatana Dharma is so scientific that we take into consideration each and every object of the universe to our fold. See, the beauty of the Vedic astrology is fantastic, which no other science can claim. See, now we used to say that you have to take care of the birds and animals also. We have assigned birds, we have assigned animals for each planet. For example, if you have any dosha for Saturn, you can also feed crows. That is considered as a very good remedy. We used to say, as far as the animals are concerned, taking care of elephants, taking care of buffaloes, taking care of even dogs, all these are considered as very good pariharas for Saturn dosha. So, karma can be offset only by other karmas. So, direct, or direct execution of karma is the best remedy for any evil effects of Saturn, or for that matter, any planet, in my opinion, which is very straight and which is very, you will get the immediate result rather than doing the other remedies. So, which is of very useful for the society. I would always suggest this type of remedies is the best remedies as far as the propitiation is concerned. Then one more type of pariharas what I would suggest is actually visit of temples. There are very specific temples assigned for planets. For example, in Tamil Nadu, there are Navagraha temples. For each planet, and a temple is assigned. In all these particular temples, I think the main deity would be Shiva, because that is as per the Shaiva system of tradition. But then every temple, in every such temple, this particular planet, are given a very high status, and propitiation of that particular planet is considered as an effective remedy for all doshas. So similarly, this also can be remedied with temple visits. One more, or perhaps the last point which I would like to remind you is that, taking medicines. Taking medicine is also one type of propitiation. Somebody may raise their eyebrow how taking medicines would become. Because I would say, normally when there is an evil effect of any planet, I have already indicated that all evil effects are affecting only your body, which is made of Panchabhutas, the five elements. So it will be pronounced in the form of either mental or physical diseases in a human being. His soul is completely not affected. Only the body is affected. So when the body is affected, you have to have antidote for that. That is why we used to say that if there is a rheumatic complaint during the Saturn normally makes restricted moments. So Saturn normally is the reason for all rheumatic complaint. So for that purpose, what exactly is the remedy? You can have whatever medicines you can. Basically, we suggest the traditional remedies of Ayurveda and all those things are more effective than the present chemical remedies. But still, any type of remedies which you believe, that also you have to take. One more thing, I think normally Saturn affects the mind. Saturn affects the mind very, very severely, which is why we say during the Saturn's period, everything gets slowed down, and none of our things will move. It is not that all of a sudden the whole universe has changed. The universe has not changed. Just like what we say, when we put a spectacles which is blue, you see the world as blue. Or if it is put as green, you see the world as green. Same thing is with this also. The world has not slowed down. The things have slowed down only because of your reaction. So you have slowed down. So what is the other way? So I think to make your energy level high, to make you more active, whatever medicines or whatever supplements you need to take, that also you need to do. I think this is in a nutshell what are the various remedies which has to be done for the evil effects of Saturn. Hope this would be useful. But again, I would suggest if you want specific remedies, you need to consult a good astrologer for by showing your, Kundli and your planetary position, because then comprehensive remedies could be suggested by them. Thank you. Thank you once again.